Namaste yogis, and welcome to our practice today. My name is Eleni and I will be guiding you. So today we're doing a practice, Heal and Restore, where we'll be focusing on the full body. This is a yin yoga practice. I always do encourage having some props around, even if you may or may not use them. So if we don't have traditional yoga props, you can always use a beach towel, some couch pillows, a necktie for a strap. So you can just get creative with it. Let's go ahead and begin on our backs in our first posture. So this one we will be using a prop. You can either grab a couch pillow, your bolster, or a block. We'll be moving into our bridge on a block. So pressing the feet into the earth, lifting the hips, sliding your block underneath the sacrum area, and connecting your prop to the bone. We don't want the prop too high up on the low back. So make sure you feel comfortable and supported here. So let's just take a few breaths, keeping the knees bent and the feet flat. Palms can just rest here, maybe feeling the hip bone, maybe resting on the rib cage or beside the body with the palms facing up. As we start to move into our practice, begin to allow the breath to just softly bring you into that more relaxed and calm state. Taking full and deep breaths in through the nose, perhaps out of the mouth. Feeling anything that came before this moment to wash away, and allowing yourself to arrive in the space here and now with body and breath. As we feel the four corners of the feet rooting into the earth, feel that connection, feeling the roots growing down from the feet, feeling that connection to Mother Earth as she supports our physical body in our practice. So in yin yoga, we stay pretty close to the earth. For the most part, we are grounded. So we allow the earth, the gravitational pull, to support our practice. So without too much effort, just allow your breath to slowly and softly relax the upper body. Observe if there's any points of tension or discomfort. Can we bring our breath and our awareness into these areas to help them move out on the exhale? And then feel the awareness move down to the hips and the knees and the ankles and toes. Sweeping the body with awareness. Noticing the body in its present state. Offering some kindness here. So you are welcome to stay just as you are, keeping your feet rooted, or you can start to bring your heels to each corner of the mat. Now, if you have a deeper lumbar curve, similar to what I have, this may not be the most comfortable option. And so you can try it out. You can always do one leg at a time, right? And switch, or you can start to lift the legs. This is another option. So legs lift, arms might release, palms facing up. If you feel like you need to readjust your block here, feel free to do so. Notice that micro bend in the knee as the legs are high, and then let the feet relax. Try not to flex here, but just feel that soft lifting. And wherever we land, allow it to be the perfect shape for your body. allowing your body to guide your practice today, knowing that if anything doesn't resonate with you physically or mentally, listening to yourself, listening to your body as your best teacher and your guide. We'll find our last couple breaths here, about 8 to 10 breaths. And slowly start to release the feet, ground the feet. Take your time here to lift the hips and slide your prop out from underneath. Take a moment here to find rest. You can bring the feet wide as the mat, knees bent. Let the knees fall in towards one another. As we come back through the center, go ahead and take that right ankle and cross it over your left thigh, opening your right knee out to the right side, creating that window here. So this is option A. We keep that left foot rooted. You can also start to lift your left knee and draw it into the chest. Hands may interlace behind the thigh or the shin as you draw your knee towards the chest. You can also use blocks here underneath that left foot to support the foot. And that way you can relax the arms. So there's so many different options here for you to explore. Find what works best for your body. Start to notice where you're feeling this deeper stretch, perhaps in that outer right hip. So start to breathe into that space, especially if we're feeling any tension, tightness. And know that as we hold, we give our hip, we give our tissues, we give the body an opportunity to release and relax in the stretch. So within every shape that we take, perhaps you sweep the body with awareness and just notice if there's any spaces that we can let go a little bit more. So heal and restore. We're often running around and busy. Having a practice especially yin, where we slow down and go inward, allows that space to process and digest and compost all of the busyness of our day. And by holding and creating these postures, it allows the energy that's stagnant or overwhelming to have a space to move out of. And that's the beauty of bringing our physical body into our healing experience. They are one and the same. Our body holds the things that we may or may not be able to process. And so when we allow the space, the safety, the compassion to arise and create that container, the true restoration, the healing can occur. Let's give 3 more deep breaths. Gently start to release the bind. If you have it with the hands, ground your left foot and cross the right leg. Options here, you can extend your legs long and simply rest. Some people enjoy just finding a more still, static posture. You can also bend your knees and start to rock the knees right to left, taking a big windshield wiper here. And sometimes movement feels really good after we hold, just to get that energy moving. So we'll set up for the other side. Left ankle crosses over right thigh. Start to open your left knee out. Now just pause and notice here if you may need a different variation on this side, and honor that. Here you can keep that right foot rooted, slide a block or a prop underneath to support, or you can start to draw your right knee into the chest, interlace behind the thigh or the shin. And just be aware if you're lifting here and rounding your shoulders forward or lifting the head off the mat. We try to ground the back of the head and soften the shoulder blades. So if this is not accessible, we can use that prop. We can use a strap or a necktie here, or you can use something under your foot if you still want that elevation. So yin is a very adaptable practice. You can really find a way or a shape that's perfect for you. And then once you've found that shape, just start to soften. Become aware of that edginess that we may feel in the outer left hip. And where we find that edginess, can we greet it with some kindness and self-compassion? May we greet our bodies every day with gratitude and loving kindness for just embodying us and allowing us to move around in the world, to experience, to create and engage. And gratitude for our body to tell us when it needs that rest, when it needs that quiet space. May we find balance. Beautiful. Stay just as you are. Or if you would like to come a little bit deeper and you aren't there already, feel free to do so. We're going to hold for another 8 to 10 breaths. And slowly release any bind we may have with the hands. Ground the right foot, release the left ankle. Find your counter pose, what works for you. You can extend the legs long or take little windshield wipers right to left. Gently draw the knees into chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. And from here, we start to rock over onto our right side, and we'll gently press up through our seated posture. Here you can use a blanket, it's helpful. Of course, it's just optional here. I like to usually sit on the outer edge of the blanket to invite a little pelvic tilt forward. So that just is kind of a safety measure for the low back. All right, let's move into half dragonfly. I'll be mirroring you for this posture. We'll extend our right leg out to the right side. That left foot comes towards inner thigh or towards midline of the body. So it's not necessary for the foot to touch that inner thigh. Just make sure that you're comfortable. Your pelvis is stable here, frontal hip points level. And then if there's any tightness here in our hamstring, you can always slide a prop under here, and that's really nice to support this stretch. So we'll stay here. You can start to work a forward fold. I always like to start on the highest level and then slowly make my way down. So starting to fold forward here gently. We allow that soft tuck of the chin. The head becomes a prop itself by becoming heavy here and allowing that space to create a stretch through the back of the neck. And then relax the shoulders as much as possible here. Props are not necessary for this posture. You can always release your hands to the inside here, right? And so sweeping our awareness, noticing where we feel this stretch. It may be different for everyone. Some of us may be feeling it in that left hip. Some may be feeling it in the right inner thigh, or both. Breathing here, slow and steady. Inviting the breath into the lower body. Now slowly lift, and we're going to move into the second portion of this posture, which is a side body stretch. Blocks are helpful, again, not necessary. And if you want to use blocks, you can stack them like this, one on top of the other, right side, right outside of that outer right thigh. All right, so make it comfortable for you. You're going to either slide your forearm down the shin, or you can rest your elbow and kind of cup your head, right? So you can find the level that works for you. And then from here, you'll start to feel that stretch through the left side of the body, and you're welcome to just keep your left hand on the thigh. You can take a bind here, wrap it behind the back, and roll the shoulder open, palm will face out, or you can start to reach up and over. And here you might just rest the palm on the head. So if this is too intense, go ahead and release the arm back down. Wherever you are, start to breathe. Maybe play with the different arm variations and see what works best for you. Good. Breathe here, 3 more breaths. On your next breath, slowly begin to release. Let's just take a gentle counter stretch. Relax that left palm, reach up and over with the right arm. Come back through center. Release props here. Go ahead and bend the knees, and we'll take big windshield wiper right to left. You'll definitely be feeling different sensations on both sides, so just observe. Sometimes it feels good to do a twist here, where you twist over that side, following your knees. That feels really good for the side body. All right, let's make our way onto the other side. So we'll extend our left leg this time, right foot to the inner thigh. Blocks if you want. All right, so that left foot is coming towards midline or thigh to foot to thigh. Make sure that we have that pelvic tilt forward. If there's any rounding in the low back, we're going to want to elevate the hips, and then from there you can stay tall. So protecting our back, even though we are allowing that forward round here in our yin practice, we really want to make sure that we use our props appropriately to protect the spine. So if there's any rounding, if you feel your pelvis tucking backwards, that will be your cue to elevate and keep the extension. So you don't have to always add the stretch through the back and the spine with these postures, right? You can focus mainly on inner thigh and hip. And again, it's all subjective and it's all personal to your body and where you are in this moment. So find where you like to be, what feels comfortable, not too much and not too little, and then we'll start to fold if it's appropriate and it's comfortable. Now sometimes our foot is going to start wobbling, and that will tell us to just inch our foot in a little bit here. And then you can use your head as the prop. If you're folding forward, chin starts to tuck, head gets heavy, back of the neck long. Couple more breaths here. And then on your inhalation, start to lift, walk the hands back. And let's take our next variation of this pose, which is that side body stretch. You can take your blocks if you want, or you can just slide your left forearm down the shin. So this is one option. You can bend your elbow, rest your head. Remember, we have options for this right arm. Palm can stay on the thigh, but try to roll the shoulder back. Take the bind, palm will face out. And this will really help to open up the chest, or you can reach up and over and rest the palm on the forehead. So wherever you would like to land here, make sure it's sustainable for the side body, and we breathe. Last 3 breaths. All right, release your right arm. Release the left. We'll take that gentle up and over to your right side. And then back through center. Release any props. Let's make our way through a windshield wiper here. So fingertips are going to point back, or they can point out to the sides. And then little tick-tock the knees. Take that little twist if you did so on the other side, and that feels good for you here. So let us make our way into our heart bench pose next. This one you can use a bolster vertically, or you can use 2 blocks. If we don't have 2 blocks, you can use a pillow, right? And then your head could rest on the mat if you had a little bit of a smaller pillow that you could open the chest, okay? All right, let's come down. So your first block is going to be on its lowest level. Second block will come onto the medium height, and you bring your lowest edge of your shoulder blade in line with the lowest edge of the block, and then the back of the head is going to rest here on that higher block. Palms will come out facing up. We have options for the legs. Feet can come together, knees wide. You can also extend your legs out to each corner of the mat, or keep the knees bent and let the knees fall in. Whatever works for your body here. Okay, this is a focus on the upper chest and body. So wherever we land, just take some time here. If you need to readjust your props, just make sure that your heart is lifting. Okay, and if we are on a bolster, you can always roll a blanket up and bring it underneath the back of the head. So it feels really nice to have the head and the chin lifted above the heart. Now, as we start to focus here, we might soften the gaze. We might tune into that breath as we feel our belly rise and fall. As we breathe deeply into the base of the belly, the rib cage, and all the way to the chest and the collarbone. And then we feel our breath release the chest, the ribs, the belly. Softening the mind, softening the thoughts, inviting softness, inviting awareness of loving kindness into our physical body. Is there something in this moment that we can release? start to release here. We'll bring the feet flat. And then bring the forearms beside the body, palms face down. We'll just use the strength of the upper body to press us up. And let's go ahead and move straight into a forward fold, keeping the knees bent, hinging from the hips. Come forward, tuck the chin, relax the head. So we just move the spine in the opposite direction here. Inhale to lift. Exhale, release. Releasing our props. Good. Let's come all the way down to earth. Hug knees to chest. Give yourself a gentle rock here. Inhale. We'll exhale, let the knees fall to the right side. Reach out with your left arm. And if your shoulder is not rooted to the floor, you can bring a prop or a blanket underneath to support. So options, you can keep your left elbow bent, come into that goalpost arm, or you can reach it out with the palm facing up. And then notice the back of the head where it's comfortable. Would you like to gaze over left fingertips or just keep the gaze neutral? Couple more breaths. Inhale, gently bring the knees through center. You might ground the feet, shimmy the hips to the right a little bit, knees hug in, take a big deep breath. Take the knees to the left, reach out with your right arm. If you took a goalpost arm, you might find it here as well. Relax the back of the head. Notice if your knees are below your belly button here and try to bring them in line with the navel. If you have space between the thighs, you can bring a block or a prop here. And if you have space between the knees and the floor, you can do the same thing. So just supporting yourself and your joints. breath in. Let it go. Gently draw the knees back through center. Neutralize spine. Let's take a final happy baby here just for a couple breaths. Grabbing outer edges of the feet, ankles or shins, drawing the knees towards earth and the feet flex towards the sky. Spine stays nice and long while the back of the head is rooted to the earth. Couple breaths here. Slowly release and take any final movements that you need for your physical practice to come to its conclusion. And when you're ready, you'll find the corpse pose that works for you, whether that's heels to the corners of the mat, constructive rest where feet are as wide as the mat, knees bent and knees fall in towards one another, whatever works for your body. Start to release here, feeling every part of the body start to relax. Letting go of any tension, letting go of our practice. Feeling the body moving into its state of restoration where it can heal on its own. Releasing and relaxing, releasing and letting go, softening. Slowly allow the awareness to move back to the physical body. And perhaps we start to wiggle the toes and the fingers, the ankles and the wrist. You might point the toes and reach the arms overhead, taking a full body stretch. Allowing the knees to gently hug into the chest as we rock onto one side, just taking our time here not to move too quickly. And then gently rising here as we come into our easy seat pose. Bringing the hands to the heart center as we close our practice here. Thank you all so very much for joining me today, showing up on your mat, showing up for yourself and your practice. And I wish you all peace, love, and light. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. If you're liking this content, please leave a like, subscribe, or a comment below, and it really helps us out.